My name is Advocacy. I'm the founder and creative director of Planetary. Planetary is a social enterprise that is dedicated to converting textile and plastic waste into eco-friendly products. I realize that many people are already doing things in the environmental sector, but I noticed that they neglect the pure water sachet a lot. And when you look at it, in a day, some people drink like 10 of it in a day, and they just throw it down like that. I now thought of it that how can we complement the existing solution? How can we use it to make sure that this waste is no longer there, at the same time create opportunity from converting those wastes into items?
I work at Planetary. I'm the head of the weaving department. I came here as a weaver to learn how to weave. Then I was introduced into how to convert this waste into weaving.
Mo gbọ́ tí ẹ̀kan inform mi nípa Planetary, but wọ́n dẹ̀ inform mi. So ẹni yẹn ṣàmùmọ̀ àǹtí Jọkẹ́, but wọ́n mú mi sí Advocacy, wọ́n train mi.
We've also been able to employ women and girls. Also, we've sensitized the need of having a clean environment to over 6,000 students and communities across Oyo State, Nigeria.
The impact she's making, because people see pure water sachet as irrelevant. I'm done with my water, I bought it 20 naira and I've thrown it away. And then when they see the bag, they see the product of the Planetary House, they're like, you mean that sachet that you're just about to throw away can become this good? I mean, it's phenomenal.
This is Amororo Kitchenette. So we are selling food here. Planetary is in our neighborhood here. I dispose the pure water nylon to them every week.
We've been trying to do this. We are making sure that nobody is left behind. Even we want to make sure that we catch them young, especially the advocacy part, so that they are conscious of the environment.
Yeah, good evening, dear educators joining from every part of Africa. It's so good to have you on this call this evening. And I believe your weekend has been great, has been fulfilling. I want to confirm if you can hear me, you can just hit the comment section and confirm you can hear me loud and clear. I am glad to have each and every one of us on this call this evening. And yeah, I can see a confirmation. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, everyone. Jonathan and each and everyone that are sharing their feedback. Okay, it's so amazing to have each and every one of us in this session. Yeah, sorry about that. I just had to quickly sort something here. And like I earlier said, it's so good to have each and every one of us on this call this evening. Yeah, all the way from, this is our fourth week of training. Yeah, it's been an amazing one indeed. And I would like to take feedbacks from each and every one of us on this call. Yeah, it's been amazing learning series. Today will be the 7th workshop series which we are having, and I'm going to like to take some feedbacks from each and everyone on this call. And I'll first want to check if if you want to say something, you can raise your hand. And thank you to the project team of Teach4SDGs. Thank you, Esther, Anita. I can see you on the call. Thank you, everyone. Okay, I can see Mazan up. You can unmute your mic. We want to hear from you. How has it been so far? I mean, how has the experience been indeed? You can share, unmute your mic and speak. Hello, Huma, you can unmute your mic and speak. And you can also have Safia from Kaduna. Please unmute your mic and speak.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Okay, good evening, Huma.
How is work, sir?
We thank God work is going on. Where has it been with you over the period of this workshop series?
Actually, it has been fantastic, educative, and highly informative. And actually, I want to sincerely thank the whole Teach4SDGs team for the wonderful opportunity. And we expect you to do more as we push ahead into the actual program. Thank you so much.
Okay, you are welcome. We are glad to hear that. Thank you. We are glad to know about how impactful this program has been to you. Can we have Safia from Kaduna? And you can use the comment section. And those of us on YouTube, please, you are not left out in this. We want to hear your feedback, we want to hear your testimonies. All right, Safia, over to you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening this evening.
Well done for this wonderful. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for this. I have been thinking of about how we can really take this knowledge I've gained. How can we take it to both the society, I mean the community, and the classroom that we are really preparing for? Because the knowledge we gain here cannot just be limited to the classroom alone. We need to take it to the society. The question now is, how can we? Because I discovered that we that are really doing this thing, we are not much, we are few. How can we give it back to the society and also to the school that we are really trained to kind of give to? So that is my question for today. Because the knowledge here is
all right. Thank you. How can we make this and get to impact the other generations, our community, our schools? And that's what the next phase. That's what the next phase of this program is all about. And you've had the trainings all through the period, and now it's high time for you to activate the SDGs in your school, in your community. And there are various projects which you can do. Yeah, there are various projects which you can do as an educator to, even in your school. Common cleanup projects are part of things which you can do. And even in your teachings, the fact that you're a mathematics teacher doesn't say you can't speak to the students about the SDGs, doesn't mean you can't introduce the SDGs to the students. So these are things which you can do greatly and across boards. And there are a lot of projects you can initiate in your school and which you are not going to spend any money on. Yeah, just bring the students together. They are going to be very excited, and yeah, they are going to engage you actively. All right, can we have Blessing? I can see your hand up, Blessing. Please unmute your mic and tell us where you are joining from. I would like to know how it has been with you. Hello, Blessing.
Okay, good evening. Good evening, Mr. Emmanuel.
Good evening, Madam Blessing.
Yes, it's been an interesting process, and we appreciate the coordinators for this opportunity to impact on educators, and the series of topics that have been outlined for this training session are quite interesting. In all of this, we will not fail to express our concerns too. In the course of this program, I don't know if it's just me, it's actually a challenge to join the meetings sometimes. The current situation of things in the country, subscription is even a problem sometimes, and it actually requires a lot of data for these sessions. So sometimes we are not able to join properly. Sometimes we just join and leave at intervals just to economize the data we have. So that's the major challenge with these sessions. So I don't know if there is any plan for
Okay, I will just
educators.
say that the data you are economizing and you are using to join the session is what you are using to achieve something great for yourself. So you are not wasting, it's not a waste of resources. And you do it, well, I don't want to say that. Yeah, I know it might get to a time whereby you need data support from the organization, but for now, there's nothing like that. However, say you can give the organization data support. Anyway, but I can assure you that in as much as you are conserving these resources and you are using it rightly, I know that there are a lot of people that their data, they can use it to watch status, do a lot of things. I know you're in Nigeria. I know what it is to be in Nigeria at this moment, and even in every other African country. So those are that one. It's very, very important. And yeah, it's not a waste of time and it's not a waste of resources. And come to talk about if you are to get to pay for some of this training, you'll be paying in hundreds of thousands. I mean, in hundreds of thousands. So let's appreciate this great opportunity and make good use of it. And the resources are still there. You still have to watch it over and over. You can even download it and play it for your students. It's part of the resources you can use to teach your students. You can use it to train other educators in your schools. So there are a lot of opportunities imbibed into this, which we will appreciate each and every educators on this call to take and make good use of. All right. Can we have Mr. Sampson from Ekiti State?
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Nigerians up. Are there no people from other countries that want to say something? Okay, over. You can speak on, Mr. Sampson.
Can you hear me? Good evening.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. I want to really appreciate the opportunity given to me. I won't lie. I've missed a couple of meetings because of issues with my phone, but I want to really appreciate the organization for giving me this such opportunity to come on board and to learn the things that I thought I knew, to learn it in a different way, and giving me a fresh idea, a fresh perspective towards how to handle and see and implement the SDG. I really want to say kudos to the organization and to the organizers. You guys have really touched a soul.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Sampson. Kudos to the organization. Kudos to all the project team for Teach4SDGs. All right, I can see someone from Ghana here. I know that we have a lot of African countries. Over 15 African countries are participating in this program. Okay, I can see some. Prince from Ghana, I would like to hear from you. Hello, Prince. Good evening. We would like to hear from you, share your feedback. I don't know if someone is happy like I do. You know, like
all right.
Workshop and learning, and it's been a back-to-back training, knowledge shared so far. All right, so you can speak on, Prince. Let's have your feedback.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Prince.
Yes, I'm really so much excited to be part of this program. Indeed, it's an eye-opener and it's a program, you know, we should consider getting more people to join, because I thought I knew about SDGs, but I'm really getting so much knowledge here, and it's quite interesting. Especially the facilitators, they are top-notch facilitators. They are not just, excuse me to say, roadside people you bring. Highly intelligent and learned people, and they give so much information. What I want to say, if their slides could always be shared on our WhatsApp platforms so that we can have access to it as well. The resources I downloaded, it appears some of the slides are not there.
Okay, you are going to have those slides updated, and you will definitely have the slides shared with you. And we are so glad. And just like you said, a lot of people need to be to come on board and also learn more. yeah, we are confident that even in your country, very soon you are going to be leading this training as a Teach4SDG ambassador, and each and everyone across South Africa, South Sudan, Kenya, Cameroon, all other African countries. And we are going to scale this project up in 2024. And you're also going to be part of the process. Okay, thank you, everyone. We are so glad for these feedbacks you've shared with us. We are so glad for the impact, how thought-provoking and how inspiring these sessions have been. And to all our amazing facilitators, you know, they are just wonderful. They are wonderful. Please, you can use the comment section to share your feedbacks. It's been a whole lot. I know that we all have great things to say. And this evening, we are going to be moving on to the next and the very last session for this cohort, which is on project management. And this evening, we are blessed with another industry expert who is going to she's going to be taking us to another realm of advanced training on project management in line to education and also classroom activities, engagement basically with our students. And this evening, we are going to have our profile being read and shared with us before she starts the session. And I would just like to hand over to the technical team as they do that.
Oluwaseun Awodiji is an exceptional educator with leads the session on effective project management for education.
Thank you very much for this introduction. And let's make welcome. I would like to see in the comment section, let's make welcome our facilitator for today in person of Madam Oluwaseun Awodiji. And let's make welcome. I want to see our comments. I want to see. All right, over to you. Good evening, Madam Oluwaseun. Thank you for joining this evening. So good to see you on the call.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for your messages. I will see them eventually. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. Effective project management for educational development. That's our topic for today. We have two main objectives. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for the welcome. One of them is to know what project management is. Second one is to see how project management can be used in education. And we are also going to look at the benefits of project management in education. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, I just want to have an overview. I mean, I can see everyone. Some have their names and where they're from, but I want to quickly get to meet us. So if you would indulge me, please type mentimeter.com in your browser. I will share the link as well. So let me do that now. This will just show me very quickly at a glance where everyone is from and so on and so forth. So, one sec. Okay. Give me minutes. I think okay, I see it now. Okay. So when I share my screen, you will see a question, basically, asking you where you're from and what level do you teach at. So it's just a very quick interactive activity that you can also use for your own children. Okay. I think sometimes technology does wonderful things. Just okay. Okay, so type menti.com in the chat in your browser. If you would prefer to also send it to me, go ahead. Or maybe we should just even do that to make it quicker. Can I send to everyone? So yeah, menti.com. If you go to menti.com, you would see a space to enter your code. The code is on the screen, and once you enter it, I'll see you. This is also just to help you see that you can use this for interactions in your classroom. For subjects that require children's responses, you can use Mentimeter. Thank you, Emmanuel. So click on the link, enter the code. The code is on my screen, please. So if you look at my screen, you'll see the code. So what can you see on my screen? Let me know, because the code is on my screen. It's at the top. I'm going to highlight it for you. Okay, so I don't know what you can see. Here is the code. Please type that in. I mean, I'm doing a test run so that you can see that I've also gotten in. Okay, someone says I'm from Lagos and I teach in a secondary school. Thank you. That's it, because I will lose all the chats in the messages. But with this, I can see it at a glance. Let me see those who have sent the messages before. Nigeria, what level do you teach? That's what I really want to know. Okay. Somebody else is also from Nigeria, Lagos. All right, Emmanuel, please, can you disable annotation? I think I can do it from here. Okay, great, I've done that. Thank you. Bamida, Cameroon, secondary, good to meet you. Malawi, primary teacher. Ghana, headmaster, fantastic. Kaduna, secondary school. Nigeria, senior technical. Osun State, secondary. Okay, so it's a varied group, just like the last time. Uganda, primary. Okay, Mabuza. Okay, that's your name. Where are you from? Or you teach in secondary. Kenya, secondary. Sokoto Secondary, Bauchi Primary. Great. Okay. Abuja Secondary School, Anambra, biology teacher in secondary. Okay. Ekiti, and I teach maths. Oh, my fellow math person, secondary school. All right. Thank you for participating. Duru teaches in a secondary school. All right. Ghana, Ernest from Ghana. Thank you. Okay. All right. Beautiful. So this is just an example of some of the things that we use. So at the same time, I'm teaching you project management, but I'm also sharing skills, because once a teacher, always a teacher. I know my profile said I'm transitioning to project management, but I'm still a teacher. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. So we'll move on. This was just a very quick starter for me to get to know you. There was no point asking questions, because I know you guys have been doing all sorts of trainings throughout the past, I don't know how long. So we will just continue with our slides. Okay. So we've done this. We will move right into our slides. What is project management? I always like a lot of interaction. So I love the way the chat is buzzing. Please don't send me a Google answer. Just tell me what you think. What is project management? Can we send it in the chat? What is project management? What do you think? We're now moving on. What is project management? Don't Google it. Tell me what you think it is on your first thought. Okay, no answers yet. I'm waiting. Are we Googling? What is project management? That's my next question. Thank you all for the introductions. Beautiful. It's a step-by-step basis in getting a project done. Thank you, Samson. Anyone else? Project management is how to manage a project, as simple as it is. That's basically it. Yes. Who else? Is handling projects through the various stages. Yes. It simply means establishing or coordinating projects. It simply means, I read that. Is a way of managing project. Yes. Carrying out proper planning and executing projects. Yes. Organization of resources that are suitable to fulfill or complete a project. Very good. Is how to manage a project. Yes. Is performing the functions of management towards creating a project and performing such projects. It's about managing projects. Okay. Careful planning and executing. It's a skill that entails the organization and arrangement of events. Is an organization of work, activities involved in completing a task, roadmap on how to roll out certain projects. Fantastic, beautiful answers. Beautiful answers. I won't be able to read everything, but beautiful. This just makes me see where your mind is at, and we're all correct. That's what project management is all about. Now, do we think, I just want reactions for this, just give me a thumbs up. Do we think that project management is needed in education? Yes or yes? Let me see your reactions. Thumbs up, or whichever one you want to show me. Use your reactions. Do you know how to use your reaction button on, or you can just tell me yes. Okay, great, fantastic. I see all the yeses. Definitely yes, beautiful. So what I'm going to try to do as I talk about, the theory and all of that, I'll also show you how I have been able to use these skills and all the things that we call it, or all the things that we said, how I have used them as a teacher and how you can too. Okay, so what is project management? First of all, a project is a temporary and unique endeavor that aims to achieve specific objectives within a defined time frame, a budget, and a scope. Now, this sounds very textbooky, yes, because the truth is a project is something that has a start date and an end date, and it needs to be properly planned for. If you are the head of department, or you're probably the head teacher, or you have probably done a project before without even knowing it, okay? And we will see as I go on, right? Now, because a project is a temporary endeavor, project management is now the set of skills and methodologies that enables the accomplishment of goals and objectives within existing constraints, because your project will probably have a budget, probably have a time frame, set objectives, and so on and so forth. And most importantly, your scope, because it's very easy for you to veer out of your scope. So when you're managing the project, all those things have to be, put into consideration. So this is our first, preambles about project management. This is some of the most important things that we need to know. Now, what is project management in education? We'll see. Project management in education refers to how we can apply all what I said before in my previous slide and all the skills of project management in education projects. And it's just as simple as that. Project management cuts across every single industry. So even if you don't feel like you've been managing projects, you probably have, okay? Like many organizations, schools and other educational institutions introduce new projects and have budgetary and other constraints. There are broadly two categories of projects within the education sector. One is project-based learning, an approach to teaching where students complete projects to learn more about a given subject. And the second one is a type of project that benefits or improves the educational institution in some way, such as constructing a new facility. Now, in the chat, can you give me examples of projects that you think are related to education based on what we have on this slide? We said there are two types. There's project-based learning, which I'm sure we know. Have we heard about project-based learning before? Oops. What happened to my slides? That's showing you expo of my slides. 1 second, I don't know what happened. I couldn't stop it. So let me share that again. That's where I am. Okay, let's see what we have in the chat. Publishing a book, fantastic. In South Africa, we're doing project-based learning and our project is on careers. Beautiful. I would like to hear about that later. SDG club project, yes. Constructing of new classrooms, yes. Brilliant. Someone said they've done one before. Very good. We'll share. I'm going to give us time to show project-based learning. Fantastic. Beautiful. So that's it. Project-based learning in itself is a typical example of projects. Okay, so I don't know what is happening with this wonderful slides. Okay, I'm back now. Creating a new project. Yes, but it has to be specific. And that's the thing about projects. There has to be specificity. Okay, and I'll show you an example. Just like I said, I'll show you examples of some of the things that I have done even before I knew I was, running projects. Okay, so before I move on, we will now look at project-based learning. Now, project-based learning is a teaching method in which students learn by actively engaging in real-world and personally meaningful projects. Now, let me read one of the examples I saw someone give. I think it was agric science. No, not agric. Okay, South Africa, we're doing a project-based learning and our project is on careers for grade 9. I suppose that this would be on like asking your children to find out. Let me see if I can unmute you quickly. Emmanuel, can I unmute people? Yes. Okay, Carmel, can you quickly tell us? I don't think Carmel is here. Okay, yes, you are. Can you quickly tell us very quickly? So I want to know about this project. It's on careers. So what was the objective? What's the aim of that project really? What are they trying to do?
Right, they are introducing good evening. It's evening in South Africa.
Yes.
They are introducing a three-way model, which is entrepreneurship, employable, and education. Now it comes with general education and certificate, but within that, it embeds project-based learning. So we are trying to introduce a new way in which learners are basically doing projects to complete the GEC program, so that after 10 years they get a general education certificate, and then they also earn NQF level 1.
Okay.
So we are doing a careers project whereby learners will choose between a career and a business, and then after that in a form of presentation. They will be making adverts and writing all the business plans and funding and all that stuff. Yeah.
Fantastic. I was just going to ask if there was a final project. Thank you so much, Camille, for sharing. So yes, we're all on the same page. So there's 7 essential elements, a challenging problem. Listening to Camille's example, that's definitely a challenging problem. Challenging means that it's not just, you know how in primary school, just tell them, use cardboard paper, go and make this and that. Now we need to move away from that and give them meaningful topics for projects. For example, that Careers Day one, I facilitated a training weeks back, and someone gave an example of asking the children to bake stuff or even make, depending on the subject, home economics, I can't remember the other one, to tell them to make stuff and actually prepare like a budget, a plan of how they're going to sell, how they're going to make profits and, sell it to the staff. And that was fantastic. So it has to be a problem that is really, really challenging and not just very easy. Sustained inquiry means that when they ask questions, they're able to answer it in terms of, does this make sense for us? Is this related to our learning? Is it something that we can relate with? Now, authenticity here refers to the fact that it has to be a real life problem and something that the children are also, what word can I use now? They can relate to. It's authentic to them. It's peculiar to the subject, to the topic, and basically to their scenario at the time. Student voice and choice. This just means that children are involved. Just like you said, they're going to do business plans and all sorts of things. It's them that is guiding the learning. And then reflection. They need to be able to reflect. Okay, I've done this. Did I follow all the rules? Because you definitely will have some different laid down rules for them. They need to reflect on it. Did I follow through? Does this make sense? And so on and so forth. Now, critique and revision will usually be done by the teacher. After you've given your instruction and everything has been done, most likely project-based learning will be done in groups. Then there'll be a critique and then revision afterwards. And then finally, a public product. So I was happy when I heard you say that they would present and all of that. There has to be a public product, whether in form of a presentation or something that they would showcase and sell and whatnot. Okay, I will take questions later. So let me just quickly move on. So that's project-based learning. Now, in the project management world as it is, okay, there are 5 phases to managing projects. And I bet you that as a teacher, you have done this in your classroom, even without thinking about it. And I'll give examples. I'll also ask you to share examples with me. Now, the first phase of project management is initiation. That means I first of all need to think about, what am I doing? What is the goal? What is the aim? What do I want to achieve? Does this make sense? That's the initiation phase. You ask questions, you meet people. Who can I ask about this? And so on and so forth. The next phase is planning. After you have initiated the project and it's probably been approved by whoever, because if it's a school, you would need approval. Then planning phase. You will look at your risks. How are we going to do this? Who do I need to support me? Do I need money? Of course, in your planning, you need to prepare your budgeting and all of that, okay? Then the next stage is execution. You need to execute your project. How are we going to execute? Of course, once you've planned, execution will follow. So it basically follows each other. And in the middle of execution, there'll be monitoring and controlling. When I give my example, I'll show you how I did all these 5 steps. And finally, there has to be a closure phase of your project. If you don't close out, then you haven't finished, because you need to close and say, okay, has what I have done, my audio is breaking. Is that my network, or let me see, can we hear, or it's just...
Okay, your audio is okay.
Okay, thank you. Just read that someone said my audio was breaking. So if you don't close, you can't say if your project was, well received or not. Thank you, you hear me well. Okay, so closing is very important. Immediately after, after monitoring and controlling and everything seems to be okay, then there'll be closure. If it's your head teacher or the board, have they accepted what you said you were going to do? If they haven't, you may need to revise. So that closure phase is actually very important. If it's in a real, project management world, there will have to be like closing documents as well. Everything that you said you would do, it's going to be checked. Has it been well received? And so then you can now officially close the project. Now, like I said, I'm going to show you an example of what I've done, and I will also take examples from you. So this project I did was in 2020 or 2019, actually. At the time, I wasn't even the head of department by that time. I had just joined the school, it's a primary school. So I'm a math teacher and I specialize in teaching maths. So the school would usually ask us to think of what we can do for appraisal purposes, you know. So at the time, they asked us, oh, what do you think you can do? And I just said, oh, I was going to do a numeracy week. Now, mind you, I didn't know, I just knew that, of course, just like I said, teachers are project managers, even without knowing. I just knew that, okay, I had to do certain things. So the first thing I did was to sit down with the head teacher and to share my ideas. And that followed with my initiation phase. I shared my ideas with her. I said, this is what I want to do. She advised me and said, okay, I have to work with all the other math teachers in the school because, of course, I couldn't do it alone. When it became the planning phase, I met with teachers, and that's what happens during planning. In the planning phase, I met with all the other math teachers in the school, shared my idea with them. We all sat down, we discussed, and we came up with an action plan. I'm going to share that with you. And that's why it's also good to document as a teacher. When I was doing all of this, trust me, I didn't even think that I was going to be doing PMP, project management, no. So like I said, this was 2019. We all sat down, and teachers, we know we document a lot. We're very wonderful people. We do a lot. When we were doing this, trust me, no one had an idea, but we prepared these documents, was our action plan, who will do what, when we will do it, you know, and so on and so forth. Like I said, this was a numeracy week. So we just took 1 week for, you know, in a particular week, 13 to 17, and we had different activities laid down. We put people in charge, you know, it was basically my appraisal, you know, for me, but every other person came to support. So, okay, let me not read the chat so I don't get distracted. So this was our action plan, and eventually we executed it, and it was beautiful. Okay, and we also documented that as well, and that's the next document I'm going to share now. So this was our final. So like I said, you have to have something to show. This was our final. So it's basically when we closed the project. Because I had to submit all of this to the head of school and say, okay, this is what we achieved. Our aim was to improve or increase the love for maths in the children. So these were some of the things that we did. So you as well can also take a cue. If your school is such that they love beautiful ideas, you can do a numeracy week. We had this math stairwell, you know. The school has, in the primary block, there were 2 staircases, one on the left, one on the right. So we these were the two of them. We put timetables, you know, because that week we wanted everyone to love maths and just enjoy themselves. At the time, I was teaching primary 5, which is year 5. We had a math hunt. So we put all the evidences and labeled it. These were the children in the basketball courts taking part in the math hunt. We also had a mental maths competition. Okay, that was the winning team for our math. So that's me right there. That's evidence. So this was a final. Over here is where we had our finale. We had a mental math competition in the hall where year 1 children competed against each other, basically year 1 to 6. And it was just, you know, beautiful. It was not until last year that I started to think, and I said, I've actually done projects. And I sat down and saw that we did every single thing. We did the initiation, we planned, we executed, we did monitoring and controlling, because since it was my idea, I was basically monitoring all the other teachers. For example, for the mental maths competition, I asked them to send questions to me to check, you know. The head of school she was just basically like our sponsor. She didn't really do much. I was the project, basically the person leading this project, because I was driving it, if I can put it like that. And that's the role of a project manager. And at the end of the day, it was successful. The children enjoyed it. They were asking us, when next are we going to do this? Even all the other teachers in the school were so impressed. So why am I sharing this? When we look at project management, I want us not to see it as something that is far-fetched. It's actually in your hands. You can reach it. You are already doing it, okay? If you feel like it's something new to you, it's not. You're already doing it. Those that are saying they can't hear me, maybe it's your network. Okay, so that's that about the 5 phases of project management. Now, if you also consider your normal teaching day-to-day activities, is there anyone here who has ever done a support class? Maybe your children, you know, some of them are not doing so well. If you have, just type yes. Good. Do you know that you actually, because remember, that support class will have a start date, it will have an end date. You actually executed a project. Do you know why? You had a plan. You set out that, okay, I want to have these children for maybe so and so weeks because they're not doing so well. In maths, we do that alone. We do that a lot. In fact, in almost every subject. Boniface says, can I explain? Can I explain what? I'm not quite sure about your question. Please put your question clearly. So, yeah, someone says on Saturdays, that's your support group was a project in itself because you had an idea. You said, okay, I have a goal. I need to make these children move from, maybe they are now currently D level. I want to move them from a D to a B. That is your goal. And I forgot to mention something very important. Every objective or every goal you set, objective still, has to be SMART. It needs to be specific. For us, for my math week, it was very specific. I was very, very intentional about what it was. We wanted them to enjoy math and love maths. That was it. It needs to be specific. It needs to be measurable. How do we measure it? We were able to measure it because we had things to show. We did our stairwell. We did everything achievable. What's the time frame? 1 week was okay. We planned for maybe a week or two before. I can't remember how long. Okay, SMART. Then R, it has to be what? What's the R in SMART again? SM, have I said A, achievable? Yes. Yes. What does the R stand for? Who can remind me? The T is time bound. Relevant, realistic, thank you. That's the R I was looking for because I know that it's two. Realistic, because I can just decide to say I want to do a math week and doesn't even relate. Relevant can also go, yeah, realistic. But it was realistic because all the things we said we were going to do made sense, you know. Even when we did the mental math competition, we gave them gifts. So it was things that are, how do I say, that are relatable, basically. It wasn't just far-fetched. We didn't just say, okay, we want to do something and nobody knows how we're going to get there. No. So your objective has to be SMART. So when you plan a support class, that is also a project. And we've all done that. Thank you very much. Realistic. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So let's move on. So we've spoken about the 5 phases of project management. Do you know that when you plan a lesson as well, you are actually executing a project? You might not think so, but yes, because everything you do in your lesson plan is, how would I put it? It's just for a period of time, if you get what I'm saying. So when you plan a lesson, or even when you want to do all the examples we've been giving so far, if you want to do any little thing in school, if they put you in charge of maybe designing the library or something, I'm just giving random examples, because when I ask us for examples now, we'll see all the different examples we give. That is you managing a project. Just being the head of departments makes you a project manager, because you will still have projects. When I was the head of department for maths, I used to prepare a budget for the maths department. We used to plan, you know, we'll look for ways to improve math in the whole school, different things. The ideas might seem as if, oh, they're just education, but no, it's still based on what project management is all about. So as an educator, you are a project management. That is what I want to leave you with, you know, as we go on. Okay, so let's move on. So we've looked at the 5 phases. Now, how can project management skills help? How project management skills can help schools? Basically, how can they help us in a school? Now, because project management involves those 5 processes, you're doing a lot of things. As a teacher already, you have to be very time conscious. You have to be effective, efficient. You are everything. You are constantly on. Your brain is constantly working. So you already have certain skills. Organization is one of them. Well, not all teachers are organized, but trust me, organization is a plus, because once you're organized, everything seems to be smooth. Planning, and so on and so forth. So let's see what we have here. Now, for students, if you include project management study and skill development in your school curriculum, it can help the students in the following ways. It instills the habits of planning, scheduling, and organization, because project management enables you to be able to do these things seamlessly. You must plan, you must schedule, because when you are planning a project, those things are there. You must organize. Everybody needs to see how we did an action plan without even knowing that we were doing something great. But because we knew that we wanted everything to be organized, we did it. So imagine having this type of skills in your curriculum. So for this to happen, this is a whole school approach. This cannot be done by a single teacher. This idea has to be brought on by maybe senior management or even a teacher who just believes that, okay, we need project management skills. There are also power skills, which used to be called, what they used to be called, we know them, 21st century skills, communication. Those are also some of the skills that enable project managers to perform. So if you have that in your school curriculum, you are instilling those skills in the children. When they go on to secondary school, their life will be much easier for them. Okay, it fosters teamwork and integration. Yes, because you have to work together. Project managers work with a lot of people, okay, every single day. It makes them adaptable to change. Yes, because trust me, you have to be fast thinking. Anything can happen. You have to preempt risks. In project management, you need to collect, basically there's something that says risk register. So you have to think about things that could go wrong. Okay, I'm not in construction or anything, but I know that people who are project managers for construction companies, they do a lot of risk management, because what if, God forbid, your building falls down? What would you do? What if they come to seal your build, you know? So it helps them to be adaptable to change, and it will help them to embrace mistakes and learn from failure. Yes, because you can plan, you can do all sorts, but trust me, when you are executing it, anything can happen. So your plan self can fall apart, right? So it helps them to embrace failure and mistakes. Now, for teachers and management, project management skills helps you to become more efficient in delivering your services. It improves and enhances customer satisfaction, because there's just a way that how do I say this? You are more alert, basically. If you begin to, especially if you use those 5 phases very, very diligently, you begin to see that I'm preempting things before they even happen. You know, you're just alert. So it helps to improve your customer satisfaction, because you're also open to feedback. You have to take feedback. Okay, it helps to improve growth and development within teams. Yes, because when you work with a set of people, for example, when I worked with all the other maths teachers, because I was even new at the time, it helped me bond with them more. I got to know all of them better. And it enhances leadership skills without saying too much, because you are basically taking on a role of, you are the guide, you're the one directing the team, you're the one doing everything. So most often than not, teachers are already project managers, because you're managing a lot. You're managing your classroom, you're managing your lessons, you're managing your resources, you are managing different things. Even parents, you're managing parents. That's why it says improve and enhance customer satisfaction. So I want us to try to see those links, because when we get to the question and answer, those are the things that we'll be looking at. Okay. All right. Those who are coming later, still telling me where they're from. Okay. If we're following, please give me a thumbs up in the chat. Let's know. Are we getting somewhere? Is it getting there? Okay. Thank you. All right. Now, my next slide is talking about PMI's advocacy. So because this session is powered by PMI, PMI is the leading professional body for project management professionals in the world. It's known as Project Management Institute. Here are some of the things that the PMI is currently doing to, you know, because we've already seen, if you Google now and you Google, let's even leave Nigeria, because Nigeria is dicey. Let's Google other places and say, what are the top 10 or top 20 jobs of the future? You will find project management there. So PMI itself has seen that, look, we need to begin to catch them young. Let's begin to see how we can bring on these young ones and teach them these skills even before they think they want to become project manager, because you don't have to become a project manager to be able to use those skills. And the skills are lifelong. It's not something anyone can take away from you, especially the leadership aspect. Okay, so PMI currently have the following initiatives geared towards empowering students and young adults with project management skills. So they have PMI student membership. When you're at university and you already know that, okay, I want to become a project manager, so PMI helps to make it easy for you. They give students a discount. When you join PMI, you have the opportunity to view a range of resources. I'm also a member of PMI, okay? Because I am actually, you know, I want to see how I can infuse education with project management on a larger scale beyond the classroom. So I'm a PMI, I'm a certified project management professional as it is. Now they also have the PMIEF. This PMIEF is a fund that provides no-cost project management learning resources to change the way children learn, live, and plan for the future, and magnify the power of nonprofits and non-governmental organizations in delivering their missions through the knowledge and application of project management. Basically, it's a no-cost project management resource that they send to certain areas just to help to instill the knowledge of project management, okay? We also have the social good initiatives, which I'm a member of, and scholarship group. What the SGI is all about is social development, you know, so we also visit schools. We currently have an outreach in a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, September 28th. We're going to visit a school, teach them about project management skills, you know, how these skills can help them learn better. We're not going to go deep teaching them initiation planning, no, just basic things. How can these simple skills help you as a student to do better? And then we also have specialized trainings for educators and instructors through the social good. Yes, same with the social. We also have trainings that we do for teachers as well. Okay, so these are some of the ways that the PMI helps. Now, okay, let me see my chat. Okay, someone said I should come to essay. So based on everything we've said, okay, everything I've said now is to the effect that learning effective project management skills increases the likelihood that young change makers will achieve their academic, professional, and personal development goals. In other words, by the time we start and catch them young, so as teachers, if you begin to, you know, inculcate some of these skills, I'll share when I stop this slide, I'm going to share the power skills so that we can see. We already know them. They just changed the name. And power skills are used by project management professionals every day. So we found a way to see how we can begin to choose these skills one after the other and teach our children. Now, I know that I said something before that some of these things have to be a whole school approach, but not necessarily. You as a teacher can just choose one of it and make it your theme for your classroom. I remember some years back, I just chose one theme. It was resilience. In fact, right now, I feel like every teacher should be teaching their children resilience because it's even worse. I made that the theme in my classroom and I said, this is what I want everyone to abide by. They're so easy to give up. They don't want to stress themselves. And you know, because I teach maths, I see it all the time. They haven't read the question. They say they don't understand. So those are the ways that you can also inculcate those skills, the project management skills, the power skills rather, into your own children on your own. If you want to make it a whole school approach, then that means the whole school needs to sit down and see how they can put it into the curriculum, okay? So I feel like, yes, I'm not drawing, I'm actually annotating. Thank you for that. I was trying to emphasize on this. So like I was saying, choose one of the power skills on your own, read about it. If you visit PMI, you'll find a lot of information. I'll share all of that before we close. You find all these skills to go ahead and, you know, look through. There's so many resources that you can also use to teach them, because I bet you the world is moving way beyond what we already know. These children we currently teach are going into professions that we don't even know about. A few years ago, nobody knew what a business analyst was. But right now, that is one of the hot jobs, business analyst, okay? Even project management, a lot of people are already doing it, but it has become so big that everyone now feels like, okay, if I don't get certified, I'm not well known, because it's becoming more, it's growing basically, it's blowing up, okay? So, yeah, so this is where I'm going to leave it for us. I think, yeah, that's my last slide. But before Kahoot is my plenary, I want to take a few questions. Before that though, let me share my power skills with you so that you may take a screenshot. I think I might share this with Emmanuel as well, in case you need it. But this just shows you that there are things that you know. If you ever read about the 21st century teaching and learning skills, they're similar. They're basically the same. Let me give you one infographic that I think will be best, so that it's not too wordy. Okay. Right. Okay, so these are the power skills in the middle. And if you look at them, you see that there are some that you can tailor to your children depending on their age and their, basically age. There's leadership, there's active listening. You can choose active listening for your students because I bet you some of them are listening to you, but they're not hearing to understand. They're just listening and it's coming in and out. In fact, I still currently teach online. One of my students had to say to me that, yes, so I know I can, because I said to them, I said, look, you need to be able to listen to me and understand what I'm saying. And he said, yes, there's a difference between listening and understanding or something like that. And that is really true, okay? Another one that you can, for children is problem solving, interpersonal skills, okay? Emotional intelligence, yes, there's a way you can tailor it. I'm going to share this infographic just also for us to go ahead and read about, because this can also help you on your day-to-day role as a teacher. Okay, so that's basically, what I'm going to share with us. I'm going to recap now. So we've looked at project management, we've looked at project management in education, and we've looked at how those skills can help students and management. What we're going to do now before my plenary is just to see if we've heard everything I've said. So it's some form of an assessment. But before that, I want to take my questions and contributions. First question is this. What are some, Jonathan, I see your hand, I'll take that. What are some of the ways that you can do, or I don't even want to say ways, I want us to give me examples of a subject and a project that you think is tied to it. If you can't think of a subject, then think about something else in school. Like I gave an example, numeracy week. It doesn't matter if you've done it or not, but just give me examples of what you think. I'm going to take, when did I start? I know I have a lot more time, so I'm still on track because I have my plenary. So I'm going to spend like 20 minutes on this so I can finish up. Can you think of a project that is tied to education that you can do based on all we've said so far? Jonathan's hand was up first, so I will allow you to speak first, and then I'll see who else. So Jonathan, go ahead. I have unmuted you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask a question before your question.
It's okay.
You did say the numeracy week projects in which you ran in your school, that you were just new to the school, and I think you had to discuss with so many people. So I wanted to ask, like, what were the challenges being the new staff, and the way old timers look at new staff. So what were the challenges you faced in communicating those ideas to them?
Okay, that's a very good question.
That's actually what I want to ask, yeah.
Thank you for that question. So I think your personality also matters. So this is personal to me. I was new, but the truth is my work was speaking for me. So at the time, let's say I joined the school. So not let's say, I actually joined the school in December 2018. This was May, right? By May, people already knew what, because even when I suggested the idea, it's as if they were like, it's something they never had before. So they were all happy. So I feel like when you present yourself as somebody of value, it draws people to you. I honestly did not have any issues. And if there were issues, I didn't see them, because the truth is I don't see those things. I'm very focused on what I need to do. Do you understand? I get where you're coming from, but for me personally, I don't have that kind of issue. There were some, like the vintage ones. I call vintage people, the people that have been in the school for 15 years, giving me the look. Well, I don't see them, honestly, because the truth is, the people who saw the value I was bringing were already, running with it. So I had majority, maybe one person or two, but nobody really came to my face to say, blah, blah, blah. I'll maybe hear it later. Do you understand? So I didn't have those kind of issues. I was able to get in with my idea and move on easily. So that's it for me. Okay. Richard Idemudia. I hope this is from my question. I can see some in the chat as well. Okay. Project on PGD, innovative managerial strategies as a predictor of teachers' effectiveness in secondary schools. So this topic needs to be clear enough for everybody to understand. Yes, Richard, I've unmuted you. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
And thank you, our facilitator. You've really enlightened the house on the idea of running projects in school. I train and I teach teachers pet projects. Many teachers assume running a project, you need a big package, you need to inform the Ministry of Education and all of that. I think you answered with the previous response. The personality of the teacher matters a lot. You asked a question on an example of pet project. When I worked with the Sisters of St. Louis, somewhere in Ekiti, I discovered that the children were smart. They would prefer to answer one word questions like list, give, this, but they won't want to define or write. So later on, I got to discover they had issues expressing themselves through writing. So my team and I initiated a project called I Can Write, which was geared towards building their writing capacity. And just 3 weeks ago, the project metamorphosed into bringing in media. So looking at multimodal presentation. And I discovered that the children were more excited. After writing in class, we take about 2 weeks. We'll write paragraph by paragraph. So in a week, we would have written like 3 paragraphs. In 2 weeks, we would have finished the whole essay, broke them into paragraphic writing. And then I gave them that assignment. They could present using video, WhatsApp, send me like casting the news or just an audio or do a cartoon with it. And I discovered that the turnout was more than how we initiated it about perhaps 2 years ago. So I discovered that running projects can actually go outside of the curriculum, but has a long-term effect on the learners and the total outcome of education. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Richard. That's beautiful. And it's very, that kind of project you gave an example of, you can see your results as it progresses. Like you said, after a certain week, you have written so and so. And you can also track your children's progress along the way. Okay, let me take, what's your first name anyway? I'm unmuting you now. From Cameroon, Chi. Is it Chi? You have to unmute yourself when I ask you to unmute. Okay, great.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm excited to be on this program. I am learning a lot. Okay, so right now in Cameroon, the government is trying to do a kind of digitalization of the curriculum. So the government wants 30% of the curriculum to be taught in a digital format. So as a project, I was thinking of kind of, because the teachers are shying away, most of them are not apt in the use of ICT tools and things like that. So I wanted to design a project that would go a long way to help them on acquiring the basic skills, getting close to the resources that are available resources online and so on and so forth, so they can easily pick up this task and the minister's idea will be able to go through. So in that sense, can you give me a practical modality on which we can actually lay down a project of this form? How can it work?
So is this for the teachers? You said they're not. Is it the children that are not ICT inclined or the teachers?
No, the teachers. This is for the teachers. Training the teachers who in turn transmit. Yeah.
So I think that this will have to be, yes, it's a fantastic example, but you will have to do like a proposal, kind of outline everything. What do you want to do? How much do you need? Do you need fund? You have to, because this is your personal idea.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have to get everything you need ready. Draw up your proposal. What do you want to do? How do you think you're going to do it? Do you need support from anywhere? If it's something that is feasible in the next few months, you can say, okay, I'm going to do X. So it has to start from you. You're planning. You have to take a lot of time in the planning and initiation phase first. Figure out everything that you want to do. You can also rub minds with people that you feel like they share the same vision as you, because that's a very good one. Because what I'm thinking that they will benefit from is all these free computer literacy, or like all them classes. well, maybe sessions. You can even decide to do like 2 or 3 sessions for them if you find sponsorship. So there are some things that will require sponsorship, and funding will always be an issue. So you have to consider that. Is this something that is feasible? Do you really need? Do you have that money? Do you have the resources you need? If you don't, you have to look for how to get those things. Do you understand? So it's actually it's a process. But start. Write your proposal. What's the objective? What do you want to do, and so on and so forth. If you go on PMI website, you also get ideas, because now you're doing this for adults. So you should want to do it, really, really well. Document. And as teachers, we should always document. Trust me. You never know where someone would ask you, have you ever done this? This project, for example, is a fantastic one that you need to put on your CV as something that you have done,
Wow.
So yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Let me quickly take wisdom, and then we will take the others after my plenary so that I don't run out of time. Wisdom, your hand has been up. Don't worry, I'll try and make sure that everybody speaks.
Thank you very much, presenter.
Thank you.
I teach in the senior secondary, and I have discovered that most of my students, they lack the knowledge of operating their scientific calculator, and it's something that will be very worrisome as a math teacher and as a physics teacher. There's actually some questions they will need their calculator to arrive at the right answer. So I found out that they lack those knowledge, and I have been wanting in the way that I can do a project from the first class, even with the class I don't teach, how I actually can help them to master their use of their calculator and also their 4-figure table. So I want to see if this is a project that is worth taking up, if it is something that just should be within the classroom, or it is something that I will need to involve the management, or maybe how the school can get more calculators for them, or I will need a sponsor on how to get them more calculators, so this project can actually have a great effect on them.
Okay, so that's a good one. I think you've answered some of the questions I was going to ask you. So does each child have a calculator? And you also said something, is this something that you can teach within your lesson? I think so, but that can only happen if everybody has a calculator. Do you understand? Because I think that is something that you can take 2 or 3 lessons to teach them what to do. If everybody has a calculator, or if you put them in groups and you have 10, 5 or whatever calculators, you can. But it's things like this, it's easier for everyone to have their own calculator so that you can teach them what to do. Now, in terms of a project, because I feel like this is something that you can easily do in a day or 2, you might not want to, make it into a big scale project, but it's still an idea that is innovative. Well, it's innovative. It's just something that would enhance your teaching. Do you understand? So yes. You might not want to make it, you might not call it a big project. The project would be maybe sourcing for calculators if you don't have enough. Is the school willing to provide? Do they have the money for it? Then are you now raising funds for the purchase of calculators? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So try and think about it, in those ways. That's how you know. But I think it's something you can do within your class before your lesson. Today, I want to teach everyone how to use their calculator. But then if they don't have calculators, problem. So
thank you.
I hope I answered your question. All right. So let's quickly move on to my plenary. On my plenary, I would like us to also go to Kahoot. I'll share share the link now. This is also another way for you to gamify your lessons and just improve interaction in your classroom. So after we've learned all the things I've said today, I just want to see if we can still remember some of the things that I taught. So these questions are based on what we just discussed now. They're just 6 or 5 questions. And I like to do this because sometimes, it's easy for everyone to get carried away, but this is the real test. So 1 second, the game theme will be shared as well as the link. Okay. So type www.kahoot. I'll put it in the chat now. And then the game pin is what you can see on my screen. I can take up to 40 people. Unfortunately, I can't take everyone. This is the free version. Please mute yourself. Okay, I won't have muted everyone. I've dropped the link, or am I not dropping? Can you all see it? Let me see. Yeah, share it with everyone. Let me drop it again. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Samson is already in. Once I get 30, I will start. Kahoot.it. The game pin is on my screen, please. You have to be on my screen. Okay. The questions will also be on my screen. No, you don't have to download the app. Just go to your browser and type kahoot.it. You don't have to download the app. And you don't have to sign up either. If you want to download the app, fine, but you don't necessarily need to. So I have 15. I now have 20. Okay, 33. Once it's 40, sorry, some people won't be able to join. It's just not my fault too. Once I hit the limit, okay. Okay, 40. Oh, I can get more than 40. Oh, great. 45, because I know that used to be 100 before. When I get 50, I will start, but you can still join in. Okay, so we have 50. Now, let me share the rules. Player limit reached. Okay, so I think it's 50. Now, when I start, the questions will be on my screen, but you will need to answer on your own device, okay? You will see different shapes, triangle, circle. When you read the question, the correct shape on the that you choose, that's what you need to press on your phone. So let's start. The first question says, what is a project? Once you see the answer, choose the correct color or shape on your device. 30 seconds for each question. Please don't put the answer in the chat. Teachers are like their children. Okay, 16 people got it. There's hope. Thank you. Next. And then we'll have a leaderboard. We have Kunle in the lead. Okay, let's see if Kunle can maintain the lead. Yes, let me read. Sorry, Chinedu. It's not my fault too. Okay, 11 correct. The answer was methodologies. Kunle, they've thrown away Kunle. Now Mo is in the lead. Sorry, Boniface. Kahoot is trying to make me sign up to pay money. It's not by force. I don't want to pay. True or false? Easy peasy. The pin is now at the bottom of the screen, but the limit has been reached. That means you can't take more people. Cletus, the pin is at the bottom of my screen in black. Check the black bar. Some people wrote false. Ha, it's true. You have to, that's project-based learning. There must be something to show, a product. Mo is still in the lead. Kunle, they've just flung you away from the lead. What happened? Initiation phase. This is when the project just starts. What do you do? Right. 17 people got it. So the only one that is not there is lessons learned. Lessons learned happens after you have executed. That's when you're learning lessons. So all the other things happen during initiation. Define the scope. That means we didn't want to do our numeracy week in the whole school. We stuck to only primary school. We didn't want to do, that scope. We collected requirement. What do we need? And of course, we defined our objectives. So that's basically that's what happens during initiation. Now, Jonathan has taken over. They have kicked away Mo. Sorry, Mo. Time management, power. Do you gain power? Someone said freedom. Some people chose freedom. It's time management because you have to be able to manage your time. There's so many things you need to do when you're managing projects. What's the full meaning of PMI? All right, Project Management Institute. So let's see our podium. In third place, we have LA6. Well done. In second place, we have Jonathan. How did they kick you out? And in first place, Mo. Magic things are happening. So Mo was back in the lead. All right, well done, everyone. Good job, everyone. So Kahoots can also be used in your classroom. I want to take general questions now and other questions. The other people who couldn't speak, please put back your hands. I still have time. I know I still have time. So that's my plenary. That shows me that at least more than half of us were following. Is Steve, please, I beg your pardon. I don't want to murder your name, but I'm asking you to unmute. Fanus, Fanus. Please unmute yourself. If you're not unmuting yourself, then I'll go to Omolara. Omolara, please go ahead and speak. Okay, Estefanus is speaking now. After Omolara, I would have Gideon. And then I think Wisdom, you want to speak again. All right. So can we have Estefanus now? Please, sorry, I beg your pardon if I didn't pronounce properly.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to appreciate you for the wonderful class. And thank you. It's so insightful and educative. But the question I want to ask is that I am a religious teacher. And then in living in a pluralistic society, people from different culture and religion. And when you want to do a project, and with people from different religion belief, I see it as an issue, even though I am a Christian religious studies teacher, and from our curriculum or from our scheme, we discuss more about morals, and we discuss more about civic responsibility. But most time when people hear Christian religious studies, they think we are talking about theology, or we are talking about maybe indoctrinating, and which is in education, indoctrination is not even allowed in teaching religious studies. But how can we run a project that will benefit the whole school and society? Because looking at our own course, when other students too are part of it, you will discover that the society will be a better place due to moral decadence and what is happening now in our society.
So I think you all somehow have answered that question, because I think that if you want to run a project, then you have to make it non-religious in quotes. So basically, you're not going to say the project is about Christianity, or it's about Islam, or it's about, so it can be something about religion, even though this is quite hard though, but it can be something general. I don't know. You also mentioned morals. So maybe you would want to move away from labeling it, any particular religion, so that, because actually we have to respect other people's religion, yes. But another thing I think you can do is also to teach the children to be, I'm looking for the right word now, is it to embrace, there's a way we say it, they have to embrace other people's religions. The fact that you might speak about Christianity does not mean that you are trying to convert them. I know that's a long way, we'll have a long way to go with that, but that's another angle that you can, approach. The other angle will be to just look for something that is neutral. Okay, you can label it social ethical program. Yes. You don't have to label diversity. Yes, we need to be diverse. People need to learn. I remember I'm a Christian as well, but I've taught Islam. Not that I was teaching Islam, but in the school at the time, we had a subject called religious education, not just Christian religion. So it was a mixture. They will learn about Islam, they will learn about Judaism, they will learn about, because in the British curriculum, they teach them all those things. So that's something for you to think about. Thank you for that question. Omalara is next. I hope your hand is still up so I can easily find you. Oh, she's out. Okay, she's still here. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening.
Evening.
The class has been great. Okay, so talking about project management, and an example of an event or a project that I have done before was Literacy Week. So I'm an English teacher, and from time to time we are mandated to organize a Literacy Week. So my school has been having awesome Literacy Weeks before, but last year we needed to do something different. So we decided to publish a book. Now the book we published was a compilation of the poems, the stories, the essays of the children. That alone was a lot of work.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so our scope was to, so we had to streamline in between the entire school or just the primary section. So getting the primary school children was quite easier, unlike the secondary school children at that time. It was a new project. We needed to limit our scope to something we could achieve. So we had to go with the primary school children. And the pupils it got to the point where everybody was like, I want my book, my story to be in the book. So it was a good one. It cost a lot of money. Oh my God, it cost a lot of money. And it came out well. Like you said, you really have to, there has to be like a plan B for the plan A, then a plan C for the plan A, B, and C. There were lots of issues we had to, there were lots of times we had to revisit the plan, review the budget, shift a couple of things around. But at the end of the day, it was a very, very, very successful event. And this year right now, we haven't even started school. Everyone was like, please, if you're on that team, you're already on this team again. So we already know that we're going to do something something close to it, but not necessarily like the same thing. So now what we've done as a school, we've increased the standard when it comes to English, when it comes to writing. So even new children who are coming to the school already are aware that, okay, as a school, we write a lot, we read a lot and all that. So we gave extra copies of the books to incoming students and parents who were just contemplating, oh, should I bring my child here? Should I not bring my child here? And for the mere fact that they could see the names of the children, they could see the works of the children, and you could tell that it was a child that wrote this. So that alone brought a couple of people, new parents into the school. So that's a good. That was just an experience I wanted to
Honestly.
share.
Thank you so much. That's brilliant, because writing a book is amazing. Well done. Well done. Okay. Gideon, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Duru Gideon Ozioma, calling from Nigeria. Thank you very much for all you've been able to help us with, and we are indeed glad. There's this concern I have as a chemistry subject teacher in my own school. It has to do with, usually I teach SS3, and sometimes when students are moved to me, who had passed through SS1 and SS2, I find out that some of them are not really well baked, to go through the hurdles of SS3. And so I got so troubled, and some of these things we are likened to their inability to know or call elements and their various chemical formulas. So I decided to come up with a scheme where I chose to once in a while go to SS1, which is the foundational class for sciences, and then try to give them, ahead of time. Like the first time I told them they were going to memorize the first 20 elements, and second time I told them they were going to make it up to 40. The third time they were going to, like that. So I kept pushing, and I must say that I've gotten some better performance, because I was trying to have people who, when eventually they come to meet me in my rightful class, SS3, I wouldn't have to face a whole lot of trouble. So this is just a formula I designed. I would say that there's an improvement, but you now as a specialist in this field, I would appreciate if there could be some highlight, or you could just give me, as touching what I've just said, to improve these students further, because I must confess that we've not really gotten 100%, outcome of the work. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Gideon. What I would say is you have to create a tracking system, because I think that what you're doing is great. Going to SS1 with your own normal responsibilities, that's something. So you have to find a way to track, because sometimes you might not really see the progress if you don't document it. I've said this. So as teachers, we need to document more. So those children now that you go to SS1, when they get to SS3, you should be able to say, okay, are these different from the other group that just come to me? Do you get my point? So you have to find a way to track, because I already feel like you have a solution to what you want to do, but find a way to track it. Create a system where you can track their performance. Also, placing these children in ability group also helps, so that you know that, okay, I already have 20 that are maybe solid in quotes, and I have maybe 10 that I really want to focus on. Because if you don't focus on a particular group, it's the same as if you're just doing everyone and you cannot see the results. So progress, there's something called pupils progress meeting that we used to do, and it's similar to what you're saying. When you see that children are not doing so well, you have to find a way to help them. Okay, so when you decide on what to do, which is your own way of going to SS1, then you have to find how you can trace it, because you need to be able to prove that, okay, what I did here has helped here, and here. That in itself is also a project, but you have to find out how that is going to be measurable, how what you're going to do will be measurable. So what will we look out for at the end of the day to say that, okay, what Gideon has done has actually helped these children? Do you get my point? So I think that you have to probably liaise with, are there other chemistry teachers? Yes, of course, there are other chemistry teachers.
Yes.
So I think you have to, liaise with them and see how you can work out something even more solid that all the other teachers will be involved with. Okay. So that's one way to look at it. I think Emmanuel is about to bounce me from the call.
Thank you very much, ma.
You're welcome. Are you bouncing me from the call?
We are not
Okay.
bouncing you, but okay. Thank you very much. We'll still take like 1 or 2 more questions.
Okay.
And you've not shared. We also want to remind that we appreciate you share maybe one of your social media link, which the educators can connect with to also further engage with you.
No
okay. All right. Over to you. Thank you very much for the wonderful session.
So I'll share my name. Just if you search Shima OGG, you probably will find me on Google and you see all my social media. So let me just type my name. That's my name on Instagram. That's my name on LinkedIn. That's my name on Facebook. Find me. I'll be happy to find you as well. Vincent, please go on. They said I can take one more question. Please share the digital skills we require, an app that will aid us in teaching. Okay. I shared 2 already, Mentimeter and Kahoot. I know that they're technological constraints, but there are, also things that you can try. I can't really share digital skills because I don't know what you teach, but I'm sure that they must have taught you guys a whole lot in this. How many weeks have you guys done now? Someone's hand was up. He's not speaking. Oh, wait, I haven't unmuted him. Okay, I can't find you again. No, sorry. Can you put up your hand again? Let me take Samson. Samson. No, not Richard. Richard has spoken. Wasn't it Richard I unmuted before? Yes, Samson, we can hear you.
All right, thank you so much. This section was really refreshing. I can relate personally to what you've been teaching us. I'm actually teaching in a public secondary school and in a very sparse rural environment, an environment where you basically everything you need to teach is not there. Wow. So it is a constraint on its own. So I'm implementing. So when I was posted there, I teach mathematics. When I was posted there, I had a language barrier with the students. I had mathematics. There was no depth, no foundation. There was nothing whatsoever. So I started going outside the school time period. 1 hour after the school period, I make myself available to start teaching them from the scratch. You can imagine teaching secondary school students from the scratch from 2 times, so that I can scale them up. And I started tracking their progress to see if there's some kind of impact anywhere going on. And I began to see that some of the students began to flow. And this now led me to start thinking of scaling it up a bit. I told my principal about organizing a coaching class that the school will be well informed and stuff like that. And he gave me the go ahead. I involved some of my friends that they were not in the rural environment, but once in a while they do come around in terms of other subjects like English and stuff like that. And that has gone a long way to really help the students. I pray that I can continue giving such impact because they really need it. These are the places that SDG. Yes, these are the places.
Well done. Well done. So yes, I think you're on the right track. Well done, Samson. Speak with your principal. That's step 1. That's your initiation phase. Find out how you can, scale it. Document above everything. Document. Put this down into a document as something that you did. Okay. But you also have to think about how you can measure the success. So if it's a coaching program, how long? There has to be a clear start date and an end date. The objective has to be clear. What you want to achieve has to be very clearly stated. So those are some of the things you can think about. Emmanuel, can I take one more question, or is my time up? I want to take Vincent. His hand has been up.
Fine. That's fine. All right, that's fine.
I have time. Okay, great. Yes, Vincent, please go ahead. One more. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity and for making our last session actually interactive and more engaging. I've learned a lot of stuff today. But I have only one question. I've tried doing some projects here in my school. I've just realized that I've been taking most of the steps that you've talked about in project management. But one challenge that I've so far experienced when we reach at execution, you find most of the people that you initiated with, that you planned with, are actually dropping out, and they can't stay up to the end of the project, regardless of how important the project is to them. So I don't know what tips can you give, which advice can you give so that they can be
okay. Can you give me an example of what they're dropping out of? What are some of the things, and who is dropping out? Are these teachers as well?
Yeah, for example, when I was posted here, I realized that majority of our kids were actually shy. They lack their confidence. Even just asking them what is your name, they couldn't answer it confidently. So we started up. I engaged the teachers, the administrators, and we started up a debate, club, kind of something, so that we could have actual sessions every Friday. But in most cases, for example, during my absence in school, I could just realize that nothing was actually done, and it is because me as like somebody who was reading wasn't there. So I don't know what I can do. Like, what else can you do so that I can have more?
Okay, so you have to have like a document that clearly states each person's role. If you don't hold people accountable, then they won't do stuff, and you have to basically manage. So you see, project management is a lot of people skills and everything. My own, for example, with my math teachers, I feel like you have to put them in a group, a WhatsApp group, because I know how to put fire under people's bonbons. So I was always on their neck in terms of support. Even when they were meant to submit questions to me for the mental math competition, I gave them samples, or you can do it like that. So provide enough support. Also, you need to, don't micromanage, but you have to be there to support, guide, send reminders, hold them accountable. This Friday, it's Mr. This. Next Friday is Mr. That. If they're not accountable, then it's easy not to go because they feel like, oh, it's Vincent's idea. Since Vincent is not around, I'm stressed. Do you understand? So you need to hold them accountable. Holding them accountable will help that they show up, Yeah, that's what I think. Hold them accountable and have that document where everybody can see and their names are there, I think that's the last question I can take. Vincent, I hope I answered your question. You're now muted. Thank you so much, everyone. It's always a pleasure speaking to us. I am happy that we got something, and I hope that we will implement. I'm sorry, I can't take the other questions. If there's a way I can find the questions and send my answers, I'm ready to answer them. So over to Emmanuel. Emmanuel will tell me how possible that is.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we have 2 more hands up.
Yes.
I'm trying to, without leaving anyone behind. Let's take the 2. Who is raising his hand again? Aliyu. Oh, okay. Please, you are going to make your question very fast. Abolade,
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Let's celebrate our facilitator. She's so concerned about us and such a way that nobody is left behind. All right. Thank you very much. Kindly unmute your mic, Abolade. Please, your question in 30 seconds.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for
good evening.
So we don't have time, so I would want to go straight to my question. Yes, my project I've handled before has to do with some topics in my class. You see, for instance, I teach biology and agric science. So sometimes when I teach some topics in human reproduction, at the time I teach them a lot of things. So I give them some projects to handle on them by themselves. For instance, I group them into some groups. I give some people to talk about pregnancy, some to talk about childbirth, and some to talk about multiple births. And they will come up with the projects, typeset. I'll mark it, then I give them the chance to present it in the presence of other teachers. Would you say that's also a kind of a project we can improve on, or it has to do with the class?
I didn't get your last part, the last part of your question. Would I say what we've improved on?
I was going to say that, is that something we can improve on and improve to something that can be welcomed by SDG, or it has to do with just the class?
I think you're on the right track, because that's project-based learning. You are already involving your children and they're working in groups already. Do you understand? So I feel like you're already on the right track. But to make it richer, you can see how you can relate whatever you are learning to real life scenarios. That's how it becomes, you know, it becomes richer, such that at the end of the day, they have something to present. Now, the presentation can just be PowerPoint presentation, depending on resources available to you. So that's the thing. You have to look within your own immediate surrounding, if I can use that word, and see what you can do. Do you understand? So well done, you are doing the right thing. I don't think there's much you can do, you know, except you want to then think out of the box for something else. But based on what you've said, that's fine. Just find out how you can, you know, make it into a structured project so that they have something to show at the end of the day. That's what I think.
Okay.
The next person, yes.
Good evening, everyone. And
good evening.
Much for the class, very, very impactful. But my question is this: I had some project last year, and I based it on how to facilitate learning using ICT or using our ICT skills. Like, I'm a physics teacher, at the same time I'm an ICT teacher. So I try to, you know, talk to train the teachers on how to use slide to, you know, to facilitate learning in their classes and the likes like that. Though the project was a success, you know, because my principal and my other colleagues, they supported me and the likes like that. But the problem I have with the teachers is that after the whole program, though many of them showed a lot of you know, nonchalant attitude towards the project, but it was a success at the end of the day. But what I was really happy about them was that there's some of them that make use of that opportunity, and they were using that kind of skills in the class. But many of them, or let me say 40% of them, did not even bother to, you know, to use that skills again. Now the question is this: how can I talk to them, or how can I just what can I do to them to just make them more have interest in that aspect? Because I noticed that when you teach those students with ICT skills, you understand, many of them have not even seen projector before. Many of them have not even seen any image displaying on Flex before, and they are interested in doing all those kind of a thing. So I don't know, how can I correct the abnormal?
I love that. You see, the thing is that you cannot force, you can only take someone to the stream. How do they say? You can't force somebody to drink.
Exactly,
my answer to this will be based on mindset. If you can try and get their mindset to be open, that's step one. Because some people, if you like, talk from now to tomorrow, they prefer to, let's even leave PowerPoint. Some people, do you know, some people still, well, I know that some schools still require writing lesson plans, but the world has moved way beyond that. And some teachers are stuck.
And that was the idea.
Yes, they're stuck there. So it's mindset. Honestly, if we start talking about this, your own question, we won't live here, because that mindset needs to, first of all, it needs to be wiped and washed with Omo and bleach first. Because if you are trying to help them see how they can teach better and how to even make them, more effective, but some of them don't want to embrace it, because also some people fear change a lot. So keep doing what you're doing. The few that are there, I think you should continue. Those other ones, continue to work on their mindset. You cannot force people. Abi, Hannah is laughing. It's the truth. You can't. You just have to keep at what you're doing. Thankfully, some people have embraced it. So
thank you.
Work with those ones. Yes. Okay. Some people have added their hands. It was only Aliyu that was left. So I'm going to allow Aliyu. Adi, please send your question in the comments, in the chats. This person has been speaking. So yes, Aliyu, go on. We can't hear Aliyu after unmuting.
So while Aliyu comes back on board, I just want to say this, that earlier when we started today's session, I mentioned that the next phase of this program is the SDG activation project. And that's the phase 2 of this program. And it's very important for us to activate the learning, the knowledge which you've gained through this workshop series, and also impart the students and your community at large. And it's very important. Though there is a working guide which you are going to share with you, then you can get to know what the basic objectives and the goal is. And you also get into implement the process, this project management teaching, we actually save the very best for the last, and whereby you can get to know what exactly you have to do next. And I remember someone asked a question that in achieving the SDG activity in his or her school, what are the things I can do? With what our facilitators have said, she has said this evening, I knew what the educators have said in terms of suggestion regarding different activities. I believe you have a good knowledge about what these projects you can embark on. But most importantly, there must be a particular problem this is solving, not just you following the bandwagon and doing what every other people are doing. So it's very important. You also need to ideate and know what exactly, which problem per se am I solving, and which is going to contribute towards achieving a sustainable future and also achieving the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which is our principal goal and also collective goal of having this program. All right, Ali is not back. I feel at this point, I'm going to do well to say a big thank you to Ali is back. Ali is back. Ali, do you want to ask your question? Are you good now to ask? Please make it very fast. This is 6:21.
I think his audio. Maybe you need to take off that earpiece.
Ali, sorry.
Wisdom, you already asked your question.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Mine is not a question.
Okay.
I just want to, it's just a word of appreciation. I just want to say thank you as a classroom teacher, an English language teacher and a literature teacher. And I can even thinking of how now to teach in basic technology and basic science because of the knowledge of this, what you have in fact today. I really appreciate you and I say thank you. I also want to say thanks to the AIIDEV and to the Emmanuel for the opportunity. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Emmanuel. If I stay, they'll be still raising up their hands. Bye.
No, it's fine. We sincerely, please, let's celebrate our facilitator for today. Let's celebrate our great.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I've already seen all the messages. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Over all other sessions, and you can get to connect with her. We'll also share it on the community social media links. Then you can get to engage with her and further learn from our initiative. Thank you so much, dear educators. We believe it's been a great value for your time all through the 4 weeks and 7 workshop series which we've had, starting from the concept and evolution of SDGs, going forward to the aspects of green economy, circular economy, and various aspects which we've studied and learned on, and also the self-paced courses which some of us have engaged on and we've been doing. Yeah, it's been a wonderful time indeed. Please, if you are still asking for attendance from this time around, you are wrong. It's been shared over and over and over again. So the tracking and evaluation form has been shared. Those of us on YouTube, it's been pinned, and you can check your session. I'm sharing it again. So please ensure you do that and fill it. This is the last time we are going to be filling it, and it's not going to be available in the next 30 minutes. Okay, like I earlier mentioned, the next phase is the SDG activation phase, where you are going to activate this learning alongside with in your respective school. And please, this is going to, we have a 5 weeks in process. Yeah, it's for 5 weeks. We also share the timeline with you so that you can have you can have a picture. I think it was shared earlier when we started the program. But the SDG activation program, we are meant to start that 4th of September to 6th of October. We understand that each and every country, we do not have the same academic calendar. And even in Nigeria, there are some states that are resuming next week Monday, while there are some states that are going to resume in 3 weeks' time. So definitely, if you can achieve your project first week or second week of September, you can achieve it later in September. And if you can achieve it in September at all, you can achieve it in the first week of October. Please, it's very, very important for you to execute your projects and submit your reports. And completing this, we guarantee your certification in this program. And another key area which we also have that's very interesting is submission of video content. There is going to be a task that we are going to be sharing with you, and you share that with your students. And it's the kind of feedback which they are also going to carry out, and they submit that to us. And the very first 5 schools are going to win an award. So look forward to that later in the month of October. But for now, you get to engage with your students and also get to train your students about all what you've learned so far. Please, should you have any question, it's very important you reach out. You can send it on the WhatsApp community. Please, we always like to keep the WhatsApp community open, but some of us do not want us to keep those community open because a lot of people are complaining, and yeah, not just because a lot of people are complaining. We need to let's try as much as possible to keep a good. I don't want to use a wrong word now. I want to use a very right word, and I don't want to make it look as if I'm insulting. So, but you understand what I'm saying. Please, let's ensure we are very decent and polite in content we share. In as much as you know it's not related to the group, please don't share it at all. Don't share it at all. Don't share it at all. And please, it's very, very important for each and every one of us. You already have the WhatsApp communities for interstate, states in Nigeria, and also across the countries in Africa has been shared. Please, if your country is not covered, maybe for people that are from Uganda, Kenya, and South Africa, and all other countries, if your country is not, definitely now that you are going to your respective states, the respective states, interstate and different countries are open. So definitely for most time, we are going to keep the general community close. And yeah, the project manager will be sharing more updates from there. That's where we get our weekly updates from. And definitely when opportunity comes on board, and we'll get to share from there. I believe it's been a wonderful day and a wonderful week so far. And we hope that this month is going to be another month of great beginnings and winnings for each and everyone. Yeah, if there are other areas of concern, please feel free and reach out on the community. We keep it open till 9 p.m. tonight, so you can just share whatever, any question. Please ask just questions, not chats. So if you said you can't access the evaluation form, please access it, copy the link. It's functioning and it's still going to be open to 7 p.m. Once 7 p.m., the program officer are going to close it and it's not going to be active again. And I want to say a big thank you to all the project team, Anita, Esther, every other people that are not on the call. Thank you so much. And to the entire management of AIIDEV Africa, we say a big thank you for this initiative, this transformative initiative. And I remain your personal person, your moderator or program project coordinator, whichever one you relate to, Emmanuel Olaoluoyo. And feel free to connect with me on social media. Yeah, you can connect with me any day, anytime. And my social media handles are always available and always open to getting to meet you and also getting, most especially people from other countries. Like I earlier mentioned that these trainings, we are going to be having these trainings across all other countries. And definitely some of you on this call are going to lead the project when we come to your country. And, you know, yes, it's very, very important. We still have a whole lot of people that do not know about the SDGs and all what you've learned. And definitely, most especially even in the rural area. So these are things which we are going to do over and over again. So I've also shared some of my my social media link. You can get to connect with me there and we can further exchange ideas and get to engage each other. We believe it's been a wonderful time so far, and we hope you enjoy the very rest of the weekend. Have a wonderful evening.